Today, what I'm going to be making is a strawberry themed wreath. Why strawberries? I don't know. I like difficult things. And it was difficult for me to find things to decorate this wreath with strawberries on them. So, seriously, I actually, I was looking around at some ribbon online and I saw strawberry ribbon and I thought, oh, that would be really cute. So, yeah, I went from there. I found this sign in Dollar Tree and I thought, oh, that would be perfect. And y'all know how I like to put signs on my wreaths. So, anyways, so let's go straight into the supplies that you're going to need to make this wreath if you're going to make it along with me. So I picked up this sign from the Dollar Tree. You are going to need the wreath form I'm using is just your normal 14-inch wreath form, also from Dollar Tree. And as you see here, I used some of the chenille twists, also from Dollar Tree. Alright, as far as the mesh goes that I'm going to be using, I chose this red poly burlap mesh. Also chose a plain white, and then I chose this checkered black and white checkered poly burlap mesh. And then my ribbons, I have this pattern here, and this is a 2.5 inch ribbon, and then I have this pattern, which is also a 2.5 inch. And then I have this pattern, which is a 1.5 inch, along with this pattern, also a 1.5 inch. So I'll be using all 4 of these in my wreath. All right, set those aside. And I also have a basket full of strawberries. So hopefully I'll be able to find a place for these. Let me show you what I did with the wreath form first. So you're going to need 18 of the chenille stems, or as we used to call them, pipe cleaners. So what I did, as you can see, the wreath form is divided into 6 sections. And since I need 18 places, I did 2. You're going to take your chenille stem off. Actually, let me just demonstrate. You're going to do this twice per section. So there's your 1 section there. Okay. So you're going to take your chenille stem and see how this one and the outside one. And you're just going to take it and then just twist it. Okay. And leave that sticking up. And you're going to do that twice on these outer 2 wires, 2 times per section, okay? Now, once you get that complete, you're going to come back around and you're going to do the same thing on the inside 2 wires here, but only once per section. So you can see that here. So here's that first section. And you can see I did that twice. I came back and just did that once. Okay, as far as the mesh goes, what I decided to do, since I wasn't really following anyone else's plan, this was all off the cuff, what I decided to do, since there is a lot of red in my ribbons, and of course a lot of red in the sign, a lot of red in the strawberries, I decided I did not want the red mesh to be the overall color of the wreath itself. So I chose the white to be the main color of my wreath. And I'm going to use the black and white check and the solid red to accentuate the white. Okay, so since I need 18 total pieces to cover the entire wreath, what I did was, since my main color is the white, I cut 18 strips of the white mesh. all of your mesh is going to be cut the same length, okay? And you're going to do that in a length of 20 inches. So there's my white mesh. And I've already cut it all up before I made the video. So here's all of 18 pieces of my white mesh. And then I decided that my accent colors, I needed not as much. I did 9 pieces of the red mesh, 20 inches, and 9 pieces of the black and white mesh. Now, as you watch this, it will make sense, okay? Promise. Now, let me get a few of these onto the wreath form, and I will be right back and show you exactly how this is going to start shaping up. See here, I've already added just 2 pieces of my white burlap mesh, and already it's looking pretty. But I'm going to show you exactly how I made these ruffles. So, like I said, your white is going to go on every pipe cleaner, Chanel stem. All right, so you want to lay it down. See how it has the tendency, let me move this string out of the way because it's getting in my way. All right, see how it has the tendency to roll. So you're going to flip that over. All right, so it's face down so it won't roll up. And it starts to fray at the ends. So just kind of do a little tuck at the ends like so. I'm not looking in the camera, so I hope I'm not out of frame. All right, so we're going to do that on both ends. Just kind of tuck it just a little. You don't really need it to be all professional looking because you're going to be layering these things. And then you're just going to take it and just start gathering it in the center like that. And there's your ruffle. Okay? And then you take your wreath form, find where you left off, the stem, take it in the middle, put it down there kind of tight, and twist. I just twisted a couple times because you're going to want that length, because remember, you're adding more. We're going to be adding more burlap, and we're going to be adding ribbon. Okay? So there's that. Let me do one more and see how that one section just looks really full. And it layers, so you really don't see the edges, the imperfections in the edges. So let me get another piece and show you that again. All right, so we tuck just a little. I mean, I guess you don't have to tuck a little if you don't want to. All right. And then just start gathering. And there's your pretty ruffle. And I love this burlap mesh because it is thick. It just makes such a pretty ruffle, in my opinion. All right. So we got that on. And see, once you get these on, you can kind of slide them around and poof them out. Just make sure your pipe cleaners are still sticking up. Okay. Like I said, you're going to be layering, and you can see that kind of looks a little messy. You're going to be layering, and at the very end, once you've got your entire wreath complete, if you see anything sticking out that you don't like, that's unsightly, you can always go back and snip with your scissors. Okay, so as you can see, I have all of the white mesh done. It's all 18 pieces done, and I have half of the red and the check done. Now, all I've done is the same method that I used on the white that I showed previously. I did the same thing with the black and white check and the red, and all I did was alternate the check, the red, the check, the red, the check, the red. So I'll show you. I stopped here, and I'll do the check since I just did the red. So I'll get a piece of the check mesh, and hopefully I'm not out of frame. I don't think I am. do the same thing with this. Now this is a different mesh because it does have the open spaces in it. But I'm going to treat it basically the same. Okay, to make your ruffle like that. All right, and get your wreath and find your stem. Is that the right one? Yes. All right, and I'm not sure that you can see. Oops. All right, so you can see right there where I twisted it before to put the white down. I'm gonna untwist it. Now you don't have to do that. If it makes you nervous to do that, you don't have to. But I untwisted it to where I twisted it before. And I'm gonna put this down right on top of that white. And let me get my pipe cleaner back. Get that down in place. And twist it again a couple times. All right, and again we're going to leave those sticking up. And the next one is going to be a red. All right, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. These wreaths are pretty forgiving because you're putting so much on, and you're going to fluff it up later and make it and hide things. And you can clip these little ends off that are fraying. I'll set that red right there on top. Hold that in place while I get my pipe cleaner back and twist it a couple times. Pull that straight. All right, see, you can. All right, now see, I've got that red. See how easy it is? You can just kind of twist and hide those raw edges. All right, so the next one is going to be down here. It's going to be the red pipe cleaner, and I'm going to do the black and white. So you can see the pattern going. It's black and white, red, black and white, red. So I'm going to finish that, and we'll be back and talk about ribbon. All right, let's talk ribbon. Now, I showed you before that I chose these two spools, which are each 2.5 inches wide, and these two, which are each 1.5 inches wide. So, I'm going to need 18 strips of each ribbon. All right, and I'm going to make my strips of ribbon each 13 inches. So, I've got right there. So you can see it's 13 inches. So 18, yes, 18 13-inch pieces of each ribbon. It's a lot of ribbon, but it looks so good once it's on your wreath. So I did go ahead and pre-cut all of my ribbon. So there's 18 of that. And we've got 18 of these. 18 of the red and white, and 18 of the burlap with strawberries. Okay, so I've got 18 of each, and what I did is I went ahead and I like my ribbons dovetailed. Now you can do this whatever way you like. Some people like to just cut it in a slant on each end. Some people like to leave them straight. It is totally up to you. I like the look of the dovetail. I'm going to show you an easy way to get that look somewhat even. You're going to take your ribbon, you're going to fold it in half. Take a good pair of fabric scissors. Now, if you're like me and you live in a household with other people, especially children, let me lower this down a little bit. Then your scissors come up missing a lot. So, fabric only, no paper. I have 2 of these actually that I really have managed to keep to fabric only. for quite a while. I'm kind of surprised. Okay, so back to the ribbon. What we're going to do is we're going to take your ribbon length. You're going to fold it in half lengthwise, and you're just going to cut like that. Just cut a slant. And there you go. You've got your perfect. Now, what you're going to do is go ahead and stack each one of your ribbons up. And you're just going to start stacking them up. Now, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. All right, you're just going to boom, ba-da-doom, da-da-doom, da-da-doom. Now, you can vary which ones you put where, because when you get them all on your wreath, you can spread them all out like that. If you don't want to use 4 ribbons, you don't have to. You can use 1 or 2. If I get these 4 on there and I think that they don't look good together, I'm going to pull some off. But anyways, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, and you can, like I said, you can vary your stacks as to how you want it to look. But I'm going to take mine, I'm going to stack them like this, and I'm going to take my wreath, and it doesn't really matter where you start. But you find your first. Now I like to start at the beginning of a section. Here's where I'm going to put it. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to lay it right there. I've got it in the middle of all 4 ribbons. Am I in frame? Pretty much, yeah. I'm going to take that, stick that right there, and just take my pipe cleaner, twist it a few times. Voila. Now, after you've gone all the way around your wreath, you really won't be adding anything else like this to these bundles, so you can, if you want to, as you go, you can start tucking your chenille twists, your pipe cleaners down around it. All right. Let's do one more. Reverse it a little. We can put them like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to line them up a little. Pinch them in the center like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Put your wreath back. This is where you started. Let's see if I'm in frame. Go to your next one, which is right here. Find your chenille pipe cleaner. Take your little bundle of ribbon in the center and put it on there. Twist it a few times. So, and then you're going to go just around the wreath until you get all of your ribbon bundles in place. And then you can go back and just kind of stretch them all out. So forgive me if it's a little shaky because I'm holding it by hand just to kind of give a better look of the overview of the wreath. Now I've got all my ribbons done. They're in place, but you can still see I haven't fanned them all out. So right now I'm trying to decide if I want to add the sign to it, if I want to leave it off, if I do add it, where I'm going to put it. The last wreath I made with this technique, I put the sign in the dead center of it. So just kind of, use your judgment, play with it a little bit. I kind of like it in the middle. But I think what I might do is hang it up on my door and just kind of see what it looks like. Let's see. Okay, so I hung the wreath on my door, and I do like this sign in the center. So that's where I'm going to place it. And I've plugged my glue gun in, and it's nice and hot. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this string here out. And the Dollar Tree signs are really nice in that you can just finagle, you just kind of straighten this hard plastic piece and slide it right through the hole. Just like so. All right. And I save these because those can definitely be reused in a different project. You'll notice the holes at the top. Some people, that might get on your nerves. In this project, it won't matter because you can fluff your ribbons and just kind of fluff them out to cover over those, and you'll never see them. You can camouflage them. All right, so what you'll need is your sign, and then you're gonna need 4 more pipe cleaners. All right, so turn your sign over, and in this case, since this one is going in the dead center, just pick out your 4 corners. Now go ahead and fold your stems. I interchanged the word because, you know, growing up, they were called pipe cleaners because that's what they were used for, right? I mean, not these nice, these sparkly ones, but really, people smoked pipes and they used these to clean them, to get all the used, nasty tobacco out. So anyways, all right, so we folded them in half. Now I'm going to use my glue gun, and what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put one up at the top. So I'm going to put a little glue there. Let's hold that in place. La 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 la. All right, so there's that one. And I'm going to put one down here at the bottom. Get that on there. Okay, so we have one on the top, one on the bottom, and I'm going to put one here in case I need the handle to kind of be a little elevated. All right. Don't be afraid to use your hot glue. All right. You want these stems, pipe cleaners, to stay in place. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to really use your hot glue. All right. So we got one more left to put in place. Go ahead and add this 4th one over here. There we go. And then we'll wait and let that set up. Okay, so here's the finished sign with the pipe cleaners attached, and it is ready to be added to the center of my wreath. Now I'm going to go off camera and attach this. It's very simple. All you're going to do is set this in the center, position it how you want it, and then you're going to have to finagle these like through to the very back of your wreath and just twist them to attach them. It's very simple. It's very easy, and I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. Doing this by hand again. Okay, so the sign is attached, and you can see I have really rough edges. I haven't fanned it out at all. What I recommend that you do once you get your big piece attached like this is go ahead and hang it up. Hang it on a door, and that way you can kind of visualize it better. It really does make a difference when you hang it up as to having it laying flat on a table. So, and then fluff it out. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to turn my hot glue gun back on, and I'm going to start hot gluing some of these little strawberries all around it just to kind of accentuate it. So I will be right back after I do a little bit of fluffing. Okay, so I have hung it on the door to my office / craft room, and I went ahead and kind of spread it all out, fluffed it up, and there's the result. And I'm really loving this, guys. I think it's beautiful. It's so full. Some tips for you. I have 2 tips. I'm going to reiterate the fact that don't worry about clipping these little ends of the mesh as you go around, because as you can see, they really do blend in. Okay, now if you want to make it a little lighter of a wreath, don't put a sign on it. Oops, I didn't include that in my number of tips, but I like it. I like it the way it is. There's a lot to look at. And like I told you, the holes on the sign, you can't see them. I covered them. The second tip that I did have was, don't go and clip your the chenille stems, the pipe cleaners. Don't clip them off. You're going to need them with the amount of things that you put in them and twist. You're going to need the extra. Just go ahead, see, like you can see this right here sticking out. Just tuck them. You can kind of finagle them down inside the wreath. Just tuck them down and cover them up. Okay, so anytime you see some of those sticking out, just tuck them down, cover them up, do a little more fluffing, and there you have it. My front door, which is where this is going to go, my front door gets a lot of daytime sun. So what I used on the wreath that's hanging up there now is this Krylon UV resistant clear acrylic coating, and it protected it from fading, because that was my biggest concern. Last year I made a wreath and I loved it. It was an Easter wreath and it faded, and I was so upset. And the sign here, this cardboard sign, it peeled, and I had to throw it away. I just took it apart and threw all the components, all the mesh and everything away, because it wasn't worth keeping to hang up next year, because the sun had damaged it so much. But this here, this has protected the wreath that is down there. I've had it hanging up there for a couple of months now, and it is just still almost brand new. So I'm going to spray this on this wreath. You can use this on fabric, and you can use it on paper, and you can use it on fake flowers and plastics. There's the list. Photography, artwork, painted surfaces, wood, metal, glass, plaster, ceramic, dried silk, flowers, paper, wicker, etc. So you can use this on a variety of surfaces. Now what I would recommend is you do this outside, because this does have a scent to it. And what I did is I just laid out a bunch of newspaper and placed the wreath on it, and I sprayed it over, and I waited and let it dry. It dries very quickly. I gave it probably about 10 minutes to dry real good, and then I went back and I did do a second coating over it. And like I said, it's still perfect. I'm going to bag it and store it, and I'm going to put it back out next spring. So I'm going to do the same with this wreath. And that is my recommendation for this video. So there you go. There is my strawberry wreath. I'm in love. Thank you for watching. I hope that you got some inspiration from watching the video. Please remember, give the video, was it that way? That way, that way, that way, that way. Give the video a thumbs up, guys. And let me know in the comments what you think. Love it. I love it. We'll see what you think. Thanks for watching, guys. And no matter what you think, I still love you anyway. Talk to you soon. Bye.